On July the 5th, the news website Defense Security Asia reported that Egypt has begun to use the HQ-9B long-range air defense system imported from China, which came from the former senior Egyptian military officer, Major General Samir Far, who disclosed this information in an interview on an Egyptian TV station. In the TV interview, he revealed that Egypt already possesses a number of modern air defense systems, including the HQ-9B, and said that the performance of the HQ-9B is comparable to that of the Russian-built S-400 Triumph or the US-built Patriot air defense systems, and is even better in some aspects. In some respects, it is even better. The news also makes Egypt the sixth country in the world to purchase China's HQ-9 long-range air defense system after Algeria, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan and Morocco, and shows that the relationship between Egypt and China is getting closer. Egypt's procurement of China's HQ-9 air defense system was actually revealed during the Eagle of Civilization 2025 joint military exercise held by China and Egypt from April the 19th to May the 4th this year. At that time, the Chinese Air Force participation in the formation just arrived in Egypt the next day. The Egyptian former senior official Major General Samir Far publicly released news that Egypt has purchased from China HQ-9B long-range air defense system. Both disclosures were made by Major General Samir Farag, indicating that this is not gossip, but has been confirmed. For Egypt, the purchase of China's HQ-9B long-range air defense system is an important part of strengthening the country's long-range air defense force, but also shows that Egypt is systematically and gradually get rid of the US dependence, but also shows that the relationship between China and Egypt has reached a new height in history. In the past, in order to protect Israel's interests in the Middle East, the United States-led Western countries have been very restrictive on Egypt's arms exports, including air defense systems. Although Egypt hoped to obtain the Patriot air defense system from the United States as early as 10 years ago, but to this day, there is still no record of equipment. Egypt now obtains the most advanced air defense systems from Europe and the United States, mainly for 7 sets of IRIS-TSLM tactical medium-range air defense systems procured from Germany. The air defense system's maximum interception distance of 40 kilometers is not enough to intercept long-distance targets to achieve a large area of interception. The most advanced of these is the 4 regiments of S-300VM long-range air defense missile systems procured from Russia, with deliveries beginning in 2015. However, since then, as the United States took out the Sanctions Countering America's Enemies Act as a blackmail, Egypt, in order to avoid suffering from the United States in the West, not only gave up the continued procurement of the S-300VM or S-400, even the order of the Su-35 was cancelled, but also paid the liquidated damages. Coupled with the continuation of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict in recent years, the West has carried out a long-term, sustained blockade of Russia and sanctions. Egypt basically impossible to continue to Russia's procurement of advanced weapons. Even if it can be procured, Russia in the production cannot meet. For this reason, Egypt has looked to China to carry out large-scale joint military exercises with China, and has purchased the HQ-9B air defense system from China to strengthen Egypt's air defense capabilities. The HQ-9B is China's self-developed long-range surface-to-air air defense missile system, and an important improvement of the Red Flag 9 series, which is equipped with advanced phased array radar, and has strengthened its detection capability of stealthy targets, with a maximum detection range of over 400 kilometers. Its maximum interception range is more than 200 kilometers, and its maximum interception altitude is 30 kilometers. With a brigade as a complete combat unit, it generally has 1 command vehicle, 6 each of control vehicles, target radar irradiation vehicles, and search radar vehicles, and 48 missile launchers, and a complete combat unit is equipped with a total of 192 interceptor bombs and another missile transport vehicle and loading vehicle. It is also possible to reduce the requirement to battalions and regiments as the basic combat unit, but the corresponding combat capability will be reduced. The HQ-9B has a maximum intercept speed of up to Mach 6, adopts the guidance method of mid-range radio command and end-range active radar, with an intercept success rate of more than 90%, and is mainly used to intercept targets such as combat aircraft and missiles. After Egypt's procurement of HQ-9B, its long-range air defense force will be greatly enhanced, and can deal with the threat from outside stealth fighters and long-range missiles. In addition to HQ-9B air defense system, Defense Security Asia news site also mentioned that the Egyptian media reported that the Egyptian Air Force is also considering the introduction of J-10CE and J-35A from China. The Egyptian Air Force has long been very stifled completely subject to the control of the United States in the West. Although it has obtained 218 F-16 Fighting Falcon, A, B, C, D and other types of fighter aircraft from the United States, becoming one of the largest and earliest overseas users of F-16 Fighting Falcon fighter aircraft. But the United States, in order to ensure Israel's air superiority in the Middle East, in the order to ensure Israel's air superiority in the Middle East, the US has imposed restrictions on the weapons it is equipped with, which is completely inferior to Israel. The US only provides Egypt with AIM-9, Rattlesnake, infrared close-range combat bombs, and AIM-7, Sparrow, semi-active radar-guided air-to-air missiles, the latter of which has long been outdated, and the US has completely abandoned the use of them, and the range of only 30 to 50 kilometers. Rattlesnake is a fighting bomb. The range is only about 10 kilometers. The United States and Egypt's F-16 equipment for more than 40 years has refused to provide the range of more than 100 kilometers AIM-120 medium and long-range air-to-air missiles, resulting in the F-16's combat capability is very weak, summed up in the base of the third-generation aircraft, second generation and a half of the combat capability, unable to play the proper combat capability. Egypt from the French introduction of 54 Rafale fighters is also the case. Due to the range of more than 100 kilometers, Meteor, long-range missiles have the United States accessories, and for the joint development of European countries, the United States does not authorize the export of Egypt, resulting in the Egyptian purchase of the Rafale fighters can only be equipped with France's self-developed range of 50-70 kilometers of the Mika air-to-air missiles with a range of 50 to 70 kilometers. The Egyptian Rafale is limited to the French-developed Mika air-to-air missiles with a range of 50 to 70 kilometers. As long as Egypt is equipped with Western warplanes, its combat capability will always be limited to Israel. Although Egypt is also an important ally of the United States and has long received military and economic assistance from the United States, Egypt believes that the United States treats it as a second-class citizen. In order to change this status quo, Egypt approached Russia and ordered 46 MiG-29M M2 fighters in 2015, but the fighters can only be equipped with their 77 medium-range air-to-air missiles and their 73 infrared-guided close-in combat bombs, and their maximum combat radius is still within 100 kilometers, which is not too far from that of the Rafale. But the radar system and aerospace systems are not as good. The maximum combat radius is still less than 100 kilometers, which is not much different from the Rafale, but it lags behind in radar and avionics systems. In 2018, another contract was signed with Russia for the procurement of 24 Su-35S fighters, with deliveries scheduled for 2020, which are equipped with Urbisi passive electronically scanned array radar, Al-41F1 vectoring engines, and are 77-1 air-to-air missiles with a range of 110 to 130 kilometers, or even are 37 long-range air-to-air missiles with a range of more than 200 kilometers. But US blackmail, in turn, forced Egypt to compromise and give up the Su-35 in 2020. At this time, the first batch of Su-35 made for Egypt has been offline for test flights, not a few months to be delivered. Egypt's dream of purchasing advanced fighter aircraft dashed. At the same time, the Egyptian side of a few days ago, a blogger revealed on social networking sites, give up Su-35S. There is a deep reason, that is, the performance is not satisfied. Although the Su-35S paper data is excellent, especially in terms of electronic combat capability, anti-jamming ability is very poor, and Su-35S fighter aircraft combat needs to rely on ground-air defense radar and early warning aircraft support, which is contrary to the Egyptian pursuit of a single weapon performance and combat capability of the idea. Therefore, from the current situation, Egypt is left with one last option, that is, China's. In the context of the inability to purchase Russian fighter aircraft, only China can provide advanced weaponry. In fact, as early as the first Egyptian International Air Show, held by Egypt from September 3 to 5, 2024, the Chinese Air Force sent one transport 20 and 6 J-10 fighters from the August 1 Air Show team to participate in the exhibition, and it was rumored that Egypt might procure J-10 fighters this year, a larger J-10 Air Marshal 500 and Oil Transport 20 to participate in military exercises. Egypt may purchase J-10. News spread more and more widely. Shortly after the India-Pakistan 57 air battle, J-10C fighters shot down 3 Rafale fighters, excellent performance, as well as China-Egypt relations closer. Even South Korea was worried, fearing that the F-50 light fighter, being negotiated, would be cut off. Now that it has been confirmed that the HQ-9B has been equipped, and rumors are circulating that the J-10C and J-35 are being considered, The possibilities are increasing further. Compared to the F-16S and Rafales provided by the US in the West, China's J-10CEs could give Egypt access to more powerful air combat capabilities. The J-10CEs are equipped with advanced active phased array radar and Thunderbolt 1-5E air-to-air missiles with a range of more than 150 kilometers, which would double the Egyptian Air Force's striking radius, and then, in conjunction with the HQ-9B air defense system, would allow it to build a more basic combat system, J-35A, not to mention, as a fifth-generation aircraft, directly against the US F-35 Lightning stealth fighters. Egypt, once obtained on the strength of the Air Force, is the direct impact of the leapfrog promotion. Whether it is the J-10CE or J-35A, compared to similar products, have a greater price advantage, such as the J-10CE single export price of about $60 million, plus supporting weapons, personnel training and logistics construction, the cost of about $100 million, much lower than the Rafale over $200 million, and can also get a stronger combat capability. Therefore, the above situation, Egypt wants to get stronger combat capability, China's warplanes have become the optimal choice, and weather the final landing. Let us look forward to together.